boost. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dad.
Hey, Hog Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at the DUM Show and his website. Yeah, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. What are we?
Paul, Foxtrot, Charlie, Foxtrot, Papa, Paul, PFC flags. Get them all at pfcflags.com. All right.
You're a poet and you didn't even know it.
I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. I just got a hold of Justin Barclay, who is a little bit of a hero of mine. I'm not going to lie. I like the guy a lot. I think he's super smart. And I had that feeling about Eric Erickson. But he's been getting on my nerves. He's so anti-Trump. It's getting a little obnoxious.
I got a question. Who's Justin Barclay?
Justin Barclay. He fills in for Glenn Beck from time to time. He's fantastic. He's
got it.
Honestly, he's very Rush Limbaugh. A lot of people go, Matt, you're Rush. I am not Rush Limbaugh. I am nothing like Rush Limbaugh. Vicky, stop texting during the show.
No, it was they're sharing. They're sharing the show.
Oh, share the show. Sorry. Go ahead and keep sharing. Sorry. But I messaged him and we've been flirting, courting each other back and forth. He shares some of my stuff. I share some of his stuff. And Vicky knows him. And, I just saw something that just bothered me. He's closing his clothing site and that's not good. I don't like that. So I wanted to see if it's the cost of it, and I'll put his stuff up on my show. And he can send people over there, and then I'll just give him the sales and proceeds, or maybe I can get him on the show. And I hope he's not popping smoke. I don't want that. That would crush me, because I love his show and I watch it all the time. It's usually the first thing I do in the morning, and I've thought about doing a morning show, but I don't want to interrupt his traffic, so I don't. And there's some people I respect, like Tim Pool. It's not that I don't respect Tim Pool. It's just he has some traffic to give. And Justin deserves to have, 1,500 viewers. In fact, I think more than Benny Johnson ever could. I think Justin does an amazing job. He's very balanced. He's on iHeartRadio. You can listen to his stuff. He's good. So I just want to check on him. We care about, we may not know each other, but we all care about each other, I would think. And we all want to see each other do well. He said he sent me an email, but I don't see it. So I hope it didn't go to spam. But either way, I'll deal with this afterwards. It's great to see everybody. Liberals are melting down. Holy moly. They're just, I'm getting shared everywhere. Videos are going. So the video on Megan Rapinoe is just crushing. It's like 35 or 45,000 views. It's, got a few hundred comments, but people are just so upset. And they're like, how dare you speak your mind? It's so un-American for you to speak about an American on a soccer team who represents America but hates America.
Hey, Christina Lopez, remember me? You want some shit? Huh? You want some
that's what I'm saying. It's just so angry. And, you just, here's the one thing I don't do. I don't do this. The worst you get from me is me calling you a clown. And I just put the clown emoji up because you're being a clown. It's not even an insult. It's just like, dude, stop being a clown. Stop clowning around, right? I don't call them libtards or, leftists, but that's because, they're being leftists. But I don't insult people. I don't sit there and, they're horrible. MAGA, maggots, Nazi, just holy molt. Just calm down. I don't like Megan Rapinoe or Rapinoe. So what? There's a lot of people we don't like. Who cares? I think she's a hag. I think she's an un-American hag. I'm sorry. Well, you're sexist. It has nothing to do with her sex. I love women. I love women often. Woman. And, there's nothing wrong with women. I'd be a lesbian if I could. I don't know what the hell's the problem. I support her 120%. I get it. Women are hot. I totally understand why she bats for the other side or kicks the other side of the field. I get that. I just don't like her.
Kicks to the other side of the field.
I don't like her support of BLM. I think it's virtue signaling. I don't think, I don't like the fact that she knelt during the flag. I think that's virtue signaling. I don't like the fact that she doesn't believe that and think it's a big thing that men shouldn't be in sports, but she thinks men should be paid the same as women. So which one is it? If immediately we started introducing steroids into female sports or into soccer, U.S. women's soccer, what would she say? She'd be upset. She'd be frustrated. She would want to do steroids. So come on. I don't like Megan Rapinoe. So what? I don't have to like her. I support her right to say whatever she wants, and I support my right to tell her she can go to hell. Olivia Spear, everybody. She's here. She's with bells on. Hi, Liv. Yeah, we couldn't be at the Astros game because Olivia had to work. I looked at tickets. I was going to go. But then I got to go down to Baltimore, and I don't go anywhere in Baltimore because I can't carry in Baltimore because you can't. And in order to get your CCL, it's ridiculous. I mean, you basically have to be from Mount Sinai or know somebody and be a Democrat. So no, I don't. No, I don't go down to Baltimore. I won't do it. So no Astros tonight, even though that game last night was freaking. This is the second time I was going to go down to a game that was incredible. Don't you remember the game we were supposed to go to? It was one of the best games of the year where they came back from down 13-2.
That was back in Houston?
No, it was at Baltimore.
Oh, it was
yeah,
Baltimore last
that
year.
huge game. And then this one last night was a freaking barn burner. It's amazing.
Yep, that's right.
Anyway, so good to have everybody here. We're going to have a good, man, this show's packed. You better stick around. If you don't, I don't want to talk to you. But I invited some liberals. Every time I invite them to the show, it was really cool to see Larry come on last night. That was nice. But they're back to doing what they're doing. This lady's just like, you won't answer my question. She's like, give me reasons why Obama caused division. So I did. I gave her 11 reasons. She goes, right-wing talking points. I'm like, okay, you know what? Then she's like, tell me why. Tell me who created woke, and who creates division with woke. And I said, wait a second. This lady doesn't even know how woke originated and that it was the civil rights movement. I'm not going to answer her again. Why would I? Why would I set myself up just to have her not even read what I write and say, this is stupid. I'm not here for your fucking entertainment. What am I, a clown? Am I freaking funny? I'm here for your fucking entertainment or something? Funny how? So, I'm not going to do that. So what I did is I said, hey, why don't you come on and you can show me how smart you are. And here's the link to the show. Poof, gone. Just crickets. Do I have any crickets? Do you have crickets coming in? Just
yeah.
Crickets all over the place. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
Here, I got it. You're slow.
Sorry.
There you go,
Somebody was
crickets.
talking about Maui.
Crickets.
They're in Maui right now. So.
Crickets.
You hear about Maui?
Yeah, I heard about Maui. We're not talking about Maui right now. We're talking about this lady. What? Go ahead. Talk about Maui. What?
I was just saying
tell me about
somebody's in Maui right now. And
What does that mean?
Maui's on freaking fire. But
what do you mean somebody's in Maui right now?
Somebody said hi from Maui.
Okay, you have to describe. Okay, you're doing it again. I love you. You're doing your thing where you know the conversation and you expect me to pick up on subtle nuance. You've got to give me. You're like, someone's in Maui. Okay, there's a lot of people. Hold on, I'm not done. There's a lot of people in Maui. Which someone?
Her name is Kathleen Cabra.
Okay, we have a viewer in Maui. Hold on, I'm not done. We have a viewer in Maui. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, so tell me about the viewer in Maui. What's going on in Maui?
She just said, hello, fellow dummies from Maui. That's all she said. And I just said, be safe. So
be safe with what?
Maui is on fire. Like the island is on fire and half the big island is on fire. What?
Thank you for sharing the information. How am I supposed to know that unless you tell me?
I just told you.
No, you didn't. You told me there was somebody from Maui on. And I have why are we talking about Maui? And then you're like, oh my God, be safe. Be safe from what? Watching the show? I don't understand.
Maui is on fire. 6 people have died and it's up in flames.
Is it a volcano or did the Japanese hit it again?
It's a wildfire. It just sparked and just.
Holy crap. How big is this fire?
Huge.
Is it like Hayman fire?
Not that big, but like
because that would take up the whole island, right?
Like most of it's on fire right now.
Holy Lord! I didn't know. I thought you were.
I didn't know until this afternoon.
Yeah, I heard something, but I didn't know it was on fire.
Yeah,
like in Fuego.
There's a town called Lahaina town, and it's completely gone. The entire town's gone. And apparently it's very historical.
People are like, where have you been? Oh, I don't know. Writing new shows, creating a show.
I didn't know about it until like 5 hours ago when someone at work mentioned it.
Yeah, I have kids. I had dinner to cook. I mean, what do you want? I mean, I don't have a staff. So, but I'm just like, what's she talking about? What do you mean Maui? What's wrong with Maui? Did the Japanese attack it? Sorry, it was kind of funny. So thanks, hon. Yeah. I just didn't know what the hell you were talking about. That's all. You're like breaking news. And I'm like, what news?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I read a couple articles.
Did they say how it started? And is it unseasonably dry in Maui? Why?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I don't know how it started. I'm not sure. I didn't look into it that much. I just heard about it.
How is it so cool that all these people from Maui are still watching the show while this is going on? You guys be safe, right? Just
please be safe.
Holy moly! I'm not trying to be insensitive, and I'm not. I'm just busting balls. Olivia, tell them what this is so they understand. I think a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, how can he talk to her that way? He's so rude.
This is called foreplay and flirting.
This is just what we do. It's just us joking. You just hear us play Diablo together. Well, God, for the love of God, please freeze him! Freeze him! No, God, come on, Liv!
I don't have freezing mage. I am electric mage now. Get it right.
Freeze him, honey. Why can't you why do you port in and stand there and get killed and then we wipe? I mean, don't you know how to press the X button? Why can't you res me effectively? My God.
I don't res you because I'm not a necro. I'm a electric mage.
Yeah. It's all foreplay, folks. This is what we do. This is how we do it. It's hilarious. All right, so Maui's on fire. We don't know how it's. Will you find out for me, please? We don't know how. Okay, deadly wildfires burning in Hawaii have forced evacuations and cut power to thousands, fueled by a mix of land and atmospheric conditions. That sounds like a global warming plot. Can create fire weather.
Yeah, there's
hold on. A massive blaze destroyed much of the tourist town of Lahaina. Sounds like Spanish. Lahaina? Oh, man, I was lifting weights and I pulled my Lahaina. Oh. Okay, anyway. On Maui, sending some people running into the ocean seeking safety. Okay, this isn't a laughing matter. See, this is not funny.
So I'm not sure how it started, but part of the Big Island's on fire too.
Oh, no.
As well as Maui.
Oh, my God.
6 people have died. Firefighter was taken to the hospital.
Oh, Lord.
Like the entire town of Lahaina is gone. Apparently it's really historical. I'm trying to figure out how it started.
Oh. Jennifer Ubler. What a great name. Ubler. Hello, darling. I'm Ubler. Ubler Rice. Maybe she's related to you. Are you related to my wife? Because her maiden name is Rice. Do you know Jennifer Ubler Rice?
I've never heard of a Jennifer Ubler Rice.
Well, you just did. So you have her.
Now. Any family in San Diego?
It says, he's not loud with Olivia. He just uses his outdoor voice per my Marine vet hubby. That's so true. That's true.
You need to use your indoor voice, dear.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Such cute shops in Lahaina. Lahaina? Is that how you say it?
Lahaina, I think.
Lahaina?
Apparently, it spread so quickly, people jumped into the ocean to get away from it.
This is horrible.
I know. I'm trying to figure out.
It's been super dry. People were jumping in the water. Okay, come on.
Okay.
Everyone's saying that it's
the exact cause of the blaze is still unknown, but
down
all of
power
Hawaii
lines
was under a red flag warning.
Oh my gosh, people! I'm reading everybody's comments right now. These are horrendous
conditions for quite a while. So it could have been lightning. It could have been anything at this point.
Winds are no joke. I absolutely. I mean, I get it. I've been in some pretty serious fires in California and also in Colorado, and prevailing winds are horrible. Listen. I spent some time in Pearl Harbor in JICPAC, and I love Hawaii, and I have nothing but all the love in my. Well, that's going to change if everything works out. We couldn't go because of the kids. When we had all the money, we couldn't go because we had children, and it was just a pain in the ass. Now, I mean, we can go anytime we want. So, First of all, anybody in Hawaii right now, please be careful. Please, it's horrible.
Sunrise Child from Rebel said her daughter lives on Oahu and says it's horrible right now.
Oh, I bet all the islands are just. And where do you go? I mean, where do you go? What do you do?
What do you do?
Folks, I deal with tragedy with humor. It's just, it's who I am. It's not personal. I pray for you guys. I really do. I hope that everyone is safe. I hope everybody's safe. Kind of cool. We have the spots for Leroy and Amy here because, we keep up their placards, but they're not here tonight.
Placards.
They're placards, right? Good show tonight, man. We got a lot to do. FBI shoots POTUS threat. There's a guy that was threatening to assassinate the president. All this is allegedly. I don't know this for a fact. I didn't know the guy. But I've got some information on him, and I'm gonna tell you some of the things that he said. I think you're gonna hear it here first. A lot of these things you may not know. So we're gonna talk about this, and he threatened to kill Joseph Biden, is my understanding. Whoa. And they killed him. And we'll talk about my feelings on that. MAGA Prophet strikes again. She speaks to God, and she's made some predictions, and I've got her video here tonight.
Is that Carrie Lake?
No, it's not Carrie. That's funny though. You need a rim shot for that. I mean, and then you have to hit the button too. And a rim shot. That's later. So, the MAGA Prophet, she says she speaks to God. Oh, okay. And she's made some predictions, and they've all been completely wrong. Kathleen, thank you all time for the DUM Show. DUM, please, not the DUMB. See, you know what's funny? Okay, oh my gosh. These people, these Democrats, come on, they're like, oh, dude, your show's named the DUM Show. It's perfectly named because you're so dumb. I'm like, yes, man. As I was going through the acronyms, I was like, oh, this spells DUM. This is perfect. I always like those suckers. Those are of course it says that. And for the morons who don't know, it's an acronym for Don't Unfriend Me. The Don't Unfriend Me Show, the DUM Show, because the Don't Unfriend Me show is a little long for a Twitter tag. Don't you think, you twatters? So you put it down to the DUM Show.
Our faithful watchers.
And our faithful watchers understand that we were being called deplorables and Trump tards and maggots and everything else and Nazis. So the dumb, we're dumb too, right? Hello? It's funny. It's called self-deprecating humor, but you people are just...
Well, dumb as in stupid dumb is spelled with B. Too,
right, and that's the other thing. You guys are dumb, D-U-M-B. Well, okay. You guys really spell well. Well, you are fun, P-H-U-N. Anyway, so there it is. I'm in a mood tonight. I'm in a mood. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Anyway, Julie Green is her name. She's the MAGA Prophet. She talks to God, and she's going to tell us everything we need to know. Matt Gaetz is in the news again. Oh, boy. Matt Gaetz has just lately been really pissing me off. We'll talk about it. He wants to bring prayer back in school. I've got some things to say about that. I'm not too excited about that, and I'll tell you why. DeSantis fires state attorney. People are saying it's racism, of course. Why? Because she's black. And of course, it's just the way it is. Of course. It's just the way it is. If you're black and you're fired, it's racism. Jody says, you are mean, LOL. Who's mean? I'm not mean. I'm a nice guy.
Probably somebody else. I would assume it's a reply.
I hope not. Because I'm a nice guy. Melanie says Jody Ward Holmes never. Well, maybe she's talking to Melanie.
No, there's Jody Ward Holmes has said she wants to ask a question, but she's afraid to ask the question. So.
Oh, you should be. You should be, Jody.
No, I just told her she should never be afraid to ask us any question.
Yeah, Jody. I'm bring it, Jody. I hold the power in my hand. Jody, if I don't like what you're saying, I'm going to ban you. So you better be careful.
Don't listen to him. I don't know. I just got home from work.
It's a severe case of Lackanucky. Probably. It's a severe case. Jody, ask your question.
I've worked 33 hours in the last 3 days. I haven't been home pretty much at all this week.
She works hard for her money. Do. So hard for it, honey. Do. She works hard for her money. You better treat her right. So right. Hurry up. Come on, Jody, ask your question.
Tuner Monkey says she's probably scared because of the 3 names.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Oh, we won't. We won't.
You guys, I'm not that bad. I'm easy. Amy says, ouch, I just got hit by the ricochet. Thanks, Matt. No problem. Yes, it was me. Come on, Jody, ask your question. Laugh my ass off. Matt is in a mood for sure. People are going to say it's drugs or Adderall or I'm having a non-manic moment. No, listen, honestly, I've been in a pretty good mood for all the shows lately. I just don't, I'm not letting stuff get me down. And people are so negative online. And honestly, it's making me feel good for once. Usually it made me, gosh, maybe I'm a jerk. Maybe I looked at myself and I was like Stuart Smalley when I'm like, gosh, people don't like me and all this. Hold on. I'm in monologue. I'm in monologue and you're going to interrupt me. Why? Was there another fire? Is it in Alaska this time? What happened?
It's in my pocket.
Ooh.
Zip it.
Is it bigger than a baby's arm? Okay, go ahead.
That's your pocket.
It doesn't matter. I forgot what I was going to say now. It doesn't matter. Anyway, go ahead. You finish.
Somebody said if Olivia's working, who's making the pot pie?
Oh, she still makes the pot pie. I'm not gonna let her get away with that.
Do you want to tell the story or are you going to let me finish?
All right. So thanks, Mr. Obama. I appreciate it. President. Sorry, I don't want to downgrade the man. Anyway, Jody, ask your question. She says lots of laughs. So I'm waiting. See? Oh, Jody, I'm just kidding. Don't worry. I think you're doing fine, Matt. Thanks, Kristen. I appreciate it. Did you see where Joe went to Arizona but not the border? Yeah. What's new? It's Joe. Why would he go to the border? He doesn't want to see his handiwork. Janet says, I love it when you get fired up. I'm not really fired up. I'm in a good mood. I just want Jody to ask her damn question.
Yeah, I'm very curious now.
How dare you?
Curious.
Jody says he's a dude.
Okay. So,
Jody's a dude with 3 names? Wait, you got to tell me this story. Did you take your wife's name? I don't understand what's going on. I'm confused.
I had a friend growing up named Jody who's a guy, so.
Well, that was some weird shit.
What's going on? I don't understand.
What's going
I mean, in
on?
today's age, you can be whatever you want. I don't care. But usually most guys don't have 3 names.
Oh my God, what's going on?
All right, Joe, I need please. Ask your question. Jody Ward Holmes.
It was a question about Q.
Well, what was it?
Ask it.
Just ask about Q. I don't care. Just call in. That's easier. Jody.
Yeah,
Jody, you're a guy. And I've got friends named Jody. The problem is that you're blamed for every single, snatchola that cheats on a veteran overseas with some Jody.
Are you serious? I never heard
That's what
that.
it's called, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, when your girlfriend dicks another guy when you're overseas, he's called Jody. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because that's probably the first letter that somebody got was a Jody. She's like, Jody and I are really good friends.
Dear
and then
Joe.
you're sitting there, you're overseas, you're like, who the is Jody? And guys are like, don't worry about it, dude. She loves you. And then the next letter you get, oh, Jody and I, we've been hanging out a lot lately and he's really being my comfort. And you're like, what the frickin' frack is going on? You throw your dagger at the letter as target practice on Jody's name. Then by the 3rd letter, all you get is, You're like, what was that? So you write, what the hell was, She's like, I was in the middle of an orgasm with Jody. By the way, we're breaking up. And you're like, you son of a. That's what happens. Called Dear Jody or Dear John letter. You get a Dear John letter too. That's the old school. Those are the people who have some salt in their beard. Yeah, the Dear John letter. But the Jodys, yeah, that's more Marine Corps stuff.
He's a hillbilly redneck.
Who's a hillbilly? Jody? Okay. All right, Jody, that's fine. Elaine says that's uncalled for. Who's she talking to?
I have no idea. Not a clue.
Gosh darn it. All right, I don't think Jody's going to ask this question. Jody, are you just teasing us? Is that what this is? Because, guys, I'm done waiting. I got to go. I got to go with the rest of the show. We're losing viewers. It's like we're getting a little woozy here. Not feeling too good. All right, I'm popping smoke. Jody, I gave you a chance. Should have called it. All right, ask your question.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Hey, thanks. We'll keep a light on for you. DeSantis. Listen, I know DeSantis is running for president. I know some people are excited about that. Some people are not excited about that. But all right, hold on. Jared has the reason that they called Jody specifically dates back to soldiers in World War II. They took a character from old blues song named Joe the Grinder or Joe D. Grinder, who would steal the ladies of inmates and soldiers and clipped his name to Jody. There it is.
Oh,
it's very close to what I said.
Thank you for the history lesson.
All right, very close to what I said, but not really. All right, so DeSantis fires state attorney Monique Worrell. And this is going to be interesting because I've got all the receipts. I'm bringing the receipts tonight. So when all your friends, Jody forgot. Thanks, Jody. We don't call you the best color commentary man in the business. So this is interesting because I brought all the receipts of the most recent cases that this woman completely just dropped the ball on. I mean, 100% dropped the ball on. And I want to share them with you. And I want you to tell your friends. So when you're listening you're on Facebook or Twitter and you're writing something and people are like, Ron DeSantis is a racist. And now you can go ahead and defend him because I'm going to tell you why she was fired. And guess what, Liv? You want to know what's exciting? Guess what it's not, what the reason isn't. What's the reason she didn't get fired?
I don't.
Look at her picture right here. Look at her picture. Okay, tell me why she didn't get fired.
Because she's black?
Yes, congratulations. You won. Good job. You get here. This is for you. Here it is.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
She was not fired because she was black. I'll tell you why that she was fired, and we'll do that right meow. So let's go into it.
Right meow?
Right meow. Am I drinking milk out of a saucer, boy? Am I jumping around all nimbly bibbly like? All right, Ron DeSantis, here it is. Listen to this first.
Florida puts our communities in danger and victimizes innocent Floridians. Accordingly, I am today announcing the suspension of State Attorney Monique Worrell from the 9th Judicial Circuit effective immediately. I'm appointing Judge Andrew Bain to take over as State Attorney for the 9th Judicial Circuit. Judge Bain is currently a judge in Orlando. He is a native Floridian. He attended University of Miami where he played football and he received his law degree from Florida A&M Law School. And I trust that he will be a prosecutor that faithfully enforces the law and will keep the communities of Central Florida safe. Monique Worrell's administration of criminal justice in the 9th Circuit has been clearly and fundamentally derelict so as to constitute both neglect of duty and incompetence. The policies or practices listed in our executive order suspending her that constitutes the grounds of suspension are as follows. One, a pattern or practice to avoid minimum mandatory sentences for gun crimes. Pattern or practice to avoid minimum mandatory sentences for drug trafficking offenses. Pattern or practice allowing juvenile offenders to avoid serious charges and incarceration altogether. Pattern or practice to avoid valid and applicable sentencing enhancements. Pattern or practice limiting charges for child pornography. Pattern or practice for seeking withholding of adjudication in situations not permitted under Florida law.
Holy moly, that sounds like he brought the receipts, but I'm going to even do one better. I'm going to do one better. I'm going to do you one better. Because here's the thing. Guess who replaced her? You know that judge that he mentioned? Guess what he didn't say? It's the same answer that you have, but it's affirmative.
He is black.
He's black. That's right, Olivia. You're just absolutely...
We did it. I cheated. Somebody on the chat already said it.
Oh.
I'm not as smart as you think I am.
No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but you're now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
I can't believe it. I can't believe you stole someone else's valor.
I was listening to him, but I had a real hard time understanding.
You keep saying that. Well, let me just tell you. All right?
Yes.
I mean, because this is important, right? Facts. Because that's what it's all about. So when it comes to this, here's just some of them. Some of them. Dayton Vale was arrested in March 2023 for sexual battery on a minor, as well as lewd and lascivious. Lascivious? Lascivious? Oh my God. This word, this is ridiculous. How do I not know this word? How do I not know this word? When have you ever seen this?
How's it spelled?
Lascivious. Lascivious. It's like larceny and the action of. But why am I struggling to pronounce it? Because I know that's not the word. Oh, gosh.
I don't know. Go to dictionary.com.
No. You know me. I just... It's got to be lascivious. It has to be. I'm very, very good at this stuff. I'm great at this stuff. I don't understand. Hold on. Shh.
I'm not
Lascivious.
What was that?
Lascivious.
You had it correct. If you would just watch the chat, everyone was already saying it.
Yeah, but see, that's just what I do, folks. It's just what I do. Undefeated, still. Lascivious. Molestation. Oh, it sounds horrible. That arrest was made while Vale was on probation. Another offense, Vale was still let out on board. This past week, Vale shot 2 Orlando police officers.
Nice.
2.
Sounds like a very upstanding citizen.
That's horrible. November 2022, 17-year-old Lorenzo Larry shot and killed his pregnant girlfriend, DeShayla Ferguson. Larry had previously been arrested in May 22 for carrying a concealed firearm, possession of a firearm on school property, and criminal possession of a firearm by a minor. Larry was released after all of these arrests. Worrell's office did not act on any of these charges until after he killed his girlfriend and their unborn child. In 2018, Jazir Dobson invaded a home in Orange County and robbed the occupants at gunpoint. He was charged with multiple counts of armed burglary with a firearm, robbery with a firearm, and false imprisonment, carrying a 10-year mandatory minimum and a maximum of life in prison. After Worrell took office in 2021, she declined to prosecute 5 charges and had adjudicated and withheld on those remaining charges. Dobson is not considered a convicted felon and can still legally possess a gun. Dobson was sentenced as a juvenile and received only 51 weeks of jail time. In June 2021, a minor was arrested for first-degree premeditated murder and attempted first-degree murder. He had previous arrests for burglary, resisting an officer, aggravated battery, and assault with a firearm. Worrell's office dropped the premeditated murder charges. In January 2023, the same minor was arrested for grand theft of a motor vehicle. Worrell's office didn't prosecute the charge at all. In October 2022, a minor was arrested. When I say minor, I don't mean,
I know what you mean.
I've been working on the rail. I mean minor as in young.
Yes,
okay. Just
under
want
the
to make
age
sure.
of 18.
Just want to make sure we all understand.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Biden. Appreciate it. Biden had to chime in from Utah. In 2022, a minor was arrested on first-degree murder charges with a firearm. The shooting was captured on video. 1 month later, Worrell's office filed a petition to reduce the charges from murder to firearm possession. The minor was placed on probation. Randall Fredericks was arrested in 2020 for possession of child pornography. In August 2022, execution. That's it. You're done. Guilty. Shoot him. Or shoe him is what I said. Get him new shoes and then summarily execute him. In August 2020,
just like a horse. Get some new shoes.
That's right. You just want to shoe him with something. Yes. In August 2022, he was charged with 45 counts, but 45 counts. It sounds like he's Donald Trump's cousin. But by February 2023, Worrell's office reduced that number to 10. Under law, each count carries 15 years. Fredericks was sentenced to just 130 months. Lathon Yee was charged with attempted murder with a firearm and aggravated battery, causing great bodily harm with a firearm. If convicted on these charges, he would have faced a minimum mandatory sentence of 25 years in prison. Worrell's office amended the charge down to attempted manslaughter with a firearm, which carries no mandatory minimum. Yee was sentenced to just 5 years in prison. As a juvenile, Keith Moses was arrested for aggravated battery assault and grand theft. In November 2021, he was arrested for drug possession, but Worrell's office did not charge him again. In February 2023, a new 19-year-old Moses shot 5 people and killed a reporter and a 9-year-old baby girl. So, doesn't sound like race at all. I brought the receipts just with some very moderate research. Those are the most severe cases. It's not doing her job. This is negligence. And he fired her. And the whore. Well, he's racist. Yeah, but he's black. Oh, well, then he's sexist. Well, she's a woman. Oh, maybe they should say the judge identifies as a woman and just close the case. But here's what it comes down to, is that this is a Soros-funded lawyer. It is a progressive lawyer. And these Soros-funded state's attorneys and DAs, they need to go. They are progressives. They don't believe in mandatory minimum sentencing. They believe that people can be rehabilitated better on the street than in prison. And here's the whole point. I don't care about rehabilitation. If you commit a crime, you go to prison and you serve your sentence. There's no time off for good behavior. No. You stay in prison and you serve your term. This crap where they go, oh, I'm gonna give them 75 years in prison, they're out in 6. No. They don't give them 75 years in prison. The moment that they go into that dank, dark hole, I don't care how they rehabilitate themselves. Oh, congratulations, you got a high school degree. Good for you. You want a cookie? I don't care. And according to Biden, he feels the same way. Listen,
we should make sure that we have no one going to jail for a drug offense. They go directly mandatory prison.
That makes a lot of sense. See, he doesn't believe in jail either. He believes in prison. Much different. Well, since Joe said that, I feel like I'm in the clear. Olivia, what do you think? Do you think people, like, if somebody murders somebody, do you think they should get off early for good behavior? No. Why?
Because they murdered somebody. That person's dead. Why should they get off scot-free or be able to get out to do it again? Right.
My thoughts are, well, if you can go ahead and rehabilitate that person's life and give it back to them, you can get out of jail. Unless you can, while you do that, go walk on water. Here's a 700-pound weight. Hold this in your arms. We're going to tie it around your body. And if you can walk on water, 2 things will happen. One is that you'll be free. And second, you won't be a witch. It's ridiculous. And people are like, oh, man, people deserve a second chance. No, they don't. They had a second chance. When they stole from mom and dad and they stole cookies from the cookie jar, they got a second chance. When they decided to pocket grandma's money and clean out her wallet, they got a second chance. When they decided to go into a 5 and dime and lift shit, they got a second chance. When they stole clothes from a clothing store, they got a second chance. When they stole their first car, they got a second chance. When they dealt their first 8-ball of heroin or coke, they got their second chance. When they messed around with child pornography the first time, they got their second chance. No more.
Most of those people get out and do it again.
Well, that's the problem. And they're like, oh, well, penitentiaries and prisons, they're fundraising for, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I have no remorse for criminals. I don't. Because trust me, if you can't understand not to break the law, you get a second chance. Even if you do the most heinous crime, say you murder somebody. If you have never had anything else in your record, unless you're a serial killer, if you shoot somebody in anger in a bar fight, or you get into an altercation because of a carjacking, more than likely you are going to have it downgraded to manslaughter. It's not going to be first-degree murder. You get leniency if you're a good person, or at least you get a lighter sentence. That's your chance. But if you go and do it again, you throw the book at the person. There is no redemption. This isn't Tosh 0.0. You don't get a web redemption. You kill somebody, you go to prison, and you do the time. That's the way it is. You were dumb enough to pull that trigger. You were dumb enough to use lethal force when you shouldn't have. You're going to prison. Or you were dumb enough to commit murder and live a life of crime. Now go serve your time. There is nothing better to educate a human being by telling them, we're taking your freedom away. I don't understand. So these progressive lawyers are releasing the worst parts of society, and they're sending a clear message, where the message used to be, if you do the crime, you do the time. Now it's you do the crime and meh.
You might go and do the time, but probably not.
We just let you out. And you know what? Let's stop having these guys literally go get beefy in the yard. Have them work the roads. Have them clear trash. Have them tear down forests that are, send them to California. And start backburning these freaking forests, and stop using volunteer services and the Forest Service putting their lives in risk. Let them go clear out debris. Let them do backfires in 108-degree heat with the Santa Ana's coming down. I'm sorry, prison is free labor. You're guilty. Here's your rehabilitation, hard labor. Give them their food, give them their water, take care of them, give them their breaks, even give them some money for it. I don't mind. I don't care. Pay them $2.13 an hour. So when they get out, they have a little bit of money, or send it back to their family. We can afford that as a country. Fine. But let's not sit here and let them sit down and play video games and watch movies and literally push weights in the yard. So when they get out, they're now 6'4" and 270. Enough. That's just my opinion. You may disagree. If you do, let me know. Next. This one should be fun for Liv.
Okay.
Liv, we're gonna go to the MAGA Prophet because I think we need some fun here. I really do.
Okay.
This is the MAGA Prophet. She talks to God, and she's all over Twitter, and she has thousands of followers, thousands. And we've got to watch what she says. This is the first thing. This was her previous talk that she had with God. She did it months ago. And I want y'all to listen, because if you are going to justify this is just as crazy that men are women and women are men. This is just as crazy as climate change, global warming, global cooling, global whatever. If you believe that this person is anointed by God and speaks to God about Trump, then I need you to call into this show, because I want you to explain it to me. If you listen to this woman, I need you to explain it to me. This is back in February. I want you to listen to this. Here it is.
You're about to see many people in leadership.
She's like in the third person here, but she's speaking for God.
Okay.
Okay.
Is she the voice of God?
She's written down. She must have gotten an email or something, or she transcribed, but she's reading God's words. Here it is.
Okay.
Step away. You will see them step down. You will see them completely walk away. You will see them resign. And you will see many die. These are the days of great judgment, a judgment the earth has never seen. I made sure that I destroyed their gods before their face. But now you will see me judge. Now you will see judgments be poured out like never before. You will see things in front of your face you never thought you would see. You will see many be hauled out of places in government buildings. You will see them be handcuffed, walked out. You will see them being marched out, because I will make sure the world sees them fall.
Wow. Yeah, none of that came true. Not one thing. Nope, not even Donald Trump was in handcuffs. This is her, and I, when I see this as a Republican, a conservative, and a Trump voter, it makes me physically nauseous. And I don't understand how this person exists.
Psycho check, psychos!
Yeah, just a little bit. Because here's the thing, folks. I have done this show for almost 3 years, and my record is almost perfect with what the prognostications I have made. I should have millions of followers based on that, based off this girl's following. But all I got to do is just make up shit and lie.
That's usually
I
how
got to make up shit and lie. Watch this next one, and then I'm going to talk about false prophets. Because I think it's important. I really do. I think this is important, because these are the people who are representing Trump supporters. No wonder why the left think we're nuts. No wonder why they think we're nuts. Seriously?
Pelosi, you will hear this name once again. Nothing is how it seems with her. And soon you will find out the whole truth.
She's not even speaker anymore. I mean, Dianne Feinstein took a tumble today. God bless her. I hope she's okay. I don't want her hurt. I mean, she's more moderate than anything. God, if we could have all Democrats like her, we might have some semblance of normalcy. But Feinstein took a tumble. She's in the hospital. God, I hope she's okay. Oh, sorry about the video. I'll play. Yeah. I'll play it. But God forbid. But this lady's cuckoo, man. I mean, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You're kidding me. What the hell is wrong with this lady? Here's the video. Sorry.
Pelosi, you will hear this name once again. Nothing is how it seems with her. And soon you will find out the whole truth. Jack Smith, truth is coming for you and the things you never thought that people would find out about you. I have whistleblowers that will wipe out this indictment and boom.
God has whistleblowers. Why does God need whistleblowers? I mean, do you mean that he has apostles? That he has prophets that he uses? Why does he need whistleblowers? This is God we're talking about, right? I mean, did he have to go and recruit, have back channel communique and secrecy in order to go ahead and take care of Sodom and Gomorrah? No, I don't think so. This is all QAnon BS. This is all crap. This is the QAnon. And people are like, she doesn't represent me. Then go and cast her out. Go to her page and say, I'm a Republican and you are absolute batshit crazy. What is the color of the batshit in your cave? Because this lady's nuts. And I specifically went to her page and I said that, lady, you're nuts. And I'm a Republican and I actually agree with Democrats. Thank you so much. I have to go take a shower now because I agree with liberals.
Boomerang back to you. These are the days of Haman, and many people are about to find out who are the Hamans and who and what are their final outcome is about to be.
All right, so let's
Pelosi, you will
Olivia,
hear this
I
name
want to
once
get your
again.
I want to get your thoughts on this. I want to do this real quick though.
She's crazy.
You think so?
Yeah, slightly.
Matthew 7:15, folks. I listen, I'm not a preacher. I'm not the most biblically well-spoken human being on the planet, but I've read the Bible, and beware of false prophets comes to mind, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Does someone want to tell me why this person has traction?
The same way that the kid from last night's TikTok video that called for uprising and other stuff is popular.
Right.
The same reason the Kardashians are popular. The same reason Jersey Shore was popular. Because America has gotten really dumb.
Her name's Julie Green. But here's the thing. Do you know that there's still people on the planet who believe that wrestling is real? WWF?
Again.
No. They never stopped. And then if they don't, they go, yeah, I know it's fake, but I just pretend it's real because it's role playing. This is very reminiscent of the National Enquirer. Oh, I know it's fake. I just read it for the articles and it's entertaining. These people are going along with this in some sort of fantasy that Jesus Christ is going to come down because Donald Trump got indicted.
I wonder if she is a long-lost relative of David Koresh. Just a thought.
I don't know. Maybe she's related to Mary Magdalene and Tom Hanks is going to come around and they're going to find the God particle underneath her eyebrows, and that's why they're completely white. I can't stand this stuff. I can't stand this stuff. I'm so tired of this. It has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with God. You can have a relationship with God. You can talk to God. But if he starts talking back, we might want to talk. We might want to have a conversation. But this whole thing is all over the internet. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who believe this stuff. And I don't think Republicans should be free of being challenged with this. This is not a Republican. This is a religious zealot.
Yes.
This is a Tea Partier. This is a Qer. These people don't represent me. They're not conservative. They're nuts. Just like any more than anyone at January 6th represents me. Or anybody who believes that a man is a woman and a woman is a man represents me. No, none of those people represent me. Yeah, whatever, Darla. I'm not mocking God. This lady's mocking God and you're defending her. This is ridiculous that I'm mocking God. God does not talk back. If he speaks to you and physically has a conversation with you where you can write down what he says and pretend that he's talking, you're nuts. I'm not mocking God. I'm mocking her. She's a false prophet. What the hell are you talking about? Everything, she's got a litany of this stuff that none of this has come true. She's been doing this for years. She's just as bad as Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. She's just as bad as the 700 Club and the people who stole money, and Pat Robertson, who stole money from people like you and me.
Joel Osteen on that list.
Come on. You can be inspired. You can be mused. You can be whatever. But to think that a human being can understand the word of God. Oh, come on. Do we really believe this? Is this what we've come to as people? I can't understand. There is nothing wrong with praying to God. There is nothing. Okay. Darla, I'm glad that God spoke to you. Whatever. I don't care. Darla, there's got to be grounded reality here. Okay. There's got to be grounded reality. That's all I'm asking for. You know, people say they believe in UFOs. People believe they believe in Bigfoot. There's people who say I took a cup outside and I held it out and it started raining because I asked for a drink, and therefore, okay, I'm not here to bash on people who believe in God. Darla, you're not espousing from the rooftops that you talk to God every single day and these are the words of God. That is absolutely heresy.
Darla, I don't think he's...
I'm not calling you a liar, Darla. What I'm saying is that you're maligning yourself with a woman like this. And that's not the same thing. You're not sitting up there and reading verbatim that God spoke to you and is giving you a message to convey to people. That's a bunch of lies. How is that anything compared to you say you heard the word of God or felt the word of God? How is that a big deal? Okay. Am I saying that I've never felt the presence of God? No, of course not. I'm not saying that. Have I ever had a conversation where he talks to me? No. No. Have I felt like I've been guided to do things? Sure. Of course. I think we all have. I think we've all seen miracles in our own way. I've seen things where I didn't think I was getting out alive, and I was like, wow, I did. But Darla, you're not saying that. You're supporting her by saying that I'm lying, or I'm saying you're a liar, or that somehow I believe that what she's saying is equivalent to you hearing or feeling the presence of God. And every time I see a sunset, I feel the presence of God. That doesn't mean I'm having a freaking conversation with him. Every time I see my daughter, I've said this 100 times on the show, I believe in God. How can I not? But that doesn't mean I'm having dialogue with him and I need to come on here and say, ladies and gentlemen, I have something very pressing to tell you. God has spoken to me and he wants me to tell you something. Are you kidding me? Are you? Come on now. This lady is absolutely a false prophet. And anybody that follows...
She's only doing it for money.
She's doing it for clicks and money. It's ridiculous. Come on, folks. Come on. Let's not malign ourselves with people like this, okay? Worship. Believe in God. Read the Bible. Be a good person. Have conversations. Pray. Yes. All of that. Absolutely. But if you start having 1,500 word conversations with God and you can write down what he says, we may want to pull back and pop some smoke. We may want to look at our dosage that we're getting and call our therapist. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Believing in God and standing up on a stage and saying that you spoke to him and here is what he said, and he talked to you about Nancy Pelosi, and he talked to you about the second coming of Donald Trump, and he talked to you about Jack Smith. Like, I'll be honest with you, if that's what God is conveying, that's pretty myopic. For a deity, it's pretty. I think he's got more. I think he's got bigger issues like fires in Maui.
Then have to deal with politics.
Right. I think he's got bigger issues like how the hell are the Canadians going to win the Stanley Cup again? Things like that. Important stuff.
Important stuff.
But see, that's the problem. If I was Donald Trump, I would say, I don't want you representing me. But see, that's why I'll never win an election, because when groups like this try to represent me, I'm like, you don't speak for me. Do not sit here and pretend you speak to Christ And speak for me. What are they laughing at?
Uncle Stumpy on Ramble goes, God wants all of Matt's viewers to spend $100 at thedumshow.com.
I did hear that. He did tell me that. I got a text from God. Stumpy's right. I got a text from God, and he did say, "Don't judge me on my pastel green phone. It's old." But no, thank you, Stumpy. I appreciate the plug. By the way, go to thedumshow.com. Please give accordingly. Give all you can. Folks, if you're taking offense to this, then that means you either watch her or you believe in what she's saying. And that's okay. I don't mind that. I'm fine with that. If you want to believe this, that's fine. I'm just telling you that you're being led astray. And just because somebody says I'm a Republican and I like Trump doesn't mean they're good for you. Okay? It doesn't mean that they're not being influenced by evil. Please understand that. Kathleen says, Matt, I literally talk to God at times, but he doesn't answer me in words. We all talk to God. And I'm not saying that you don't feel his presence or you don't feel better afterwards or you don't feel the influence of a muse or you don't feel inspired by his blessings. I didn't say that. What I said was, if you're doing this right here. Are you ready? Here it is. This. Here it is for the people in the back who just came in.
You're about to see many people in leadership step away. You will see them step down. You will see them completely walk away. You will see them resign. And you will see many die. These are the days of great judgment, a judgment the earth has never seen. I made sure that I destroyed their gods before their face. But now you will see me judge. Now you will see judgments be poured out like never before. You will see things in front of your face you never thought you would see. You will see many be hauled out of places in government buildings. You will see them be handcuffed, walked out. You will see them being marched out because I will make sure the world sees them fall.
It's not even, it's just lazy writing. There's no pentameter to it. I mean, it's just literally
there are Republicans out there who do bad things as well. But according to her God, only Democrats are bad. I mean, come on. Do
you think God would be more inspiring in his
go for, I mean, why
soliloquy or whatever the hell the word is?
Why is he only trying to punish Democrats? I mean, why are you even in politics? Go help the fires in Maui. Go help the famine and civil wars in Africa. Go figure out AIDS in Africa. And I mean, the fentanyl crisis. I mean, go do that.
She reminds me of Michelle Bachmann. I mean, I just want to be honest with you. This is the stuff, folks, and it's out there. This isn't a slouch. This isn't somebody who's a no-name. Hold on. I want to make sure we understand. I mean, she's not doing damage like Krasenstein is, but look, there's people. A Great Unmasking coming by Julie Green. A Great Unmasking. Come on. It's so stupid. 200,000 people follow her. 200,000 people follow her. She's not even on Twitter anymore. I think she got kicked from Twitter.
Good.
It needs to stop. Okay, the people who are predicting that Donald Trump, God's going to come down and him and Donald Trump are going to sit on the throne.
Sit on the throne? What is this, England?
Together. Come on. All right, so are we done now? Can we stop? Good.
Is Trump replacing the Queen?
No. Trump is going to sit with God, and they believe this. This is what At War Clandestine said, is that At War Clandestine was sitting on the steps inside D.C. This is the guy that talked about bioweapon labs, and that God came down and said Trump is going to win by epic proportions in 2020. And I'm like, well, geez, Clandestine, what happened there? I mean, that's kind of a big prediction that you missed there. It's kind of, I mean, how can you possibly have a page still that you screwed that up? It's just like the same thing with all the pollsters who are the same pollsters on Fox News who screwed up 2020. They still have jobs. How? How do those people have jobs? I don't understand. All right. I want to do this. Now, I don't want to harp on religion because I don't want you guys to think I'm coming down. I'm not. I think there's a way to do things, and I want to get everybody's opinion here. Okay? I want to get everyone's opinion. People are desperate. They're looking for any kind of relief, no matter how poorly their decision is. That's correct, Debbie, and that's the problem. Is it truly relief to continue to be disappointed? Is it? How about we teach people how to stand? How about we teach people how to fish? Instead of giving them a fish, let's teach them how to fish. Let's. I'm not saying this show is a spiritual uplift, but at least you're going to get real information, and it's not going to be a bunch of bullshit. Matt Gaetz, he posted this. And this one's tough for me. And I want to have a logical conversation with people. And I want your opinion. Matt Gaetz wrote, "This week I'll be introducing the National Prayer in School Act. God's reach does not stop at the schoolhouse gates. Our country's education policy forbids students and faculty from praying while endlessly promoting degenerate LGBT and anti-white propaganda. My legislation unlocks religious freedom once again so that in every classroom in America, there will be time for students to pray if they choose." I want to get your thoughts. I want to know what you think. And I'm gonna tell you just some basic ones that I think. And just the law behind this. Okay, let's go through the law first. Court has declared that prayer in public schools violated Establishment Clause. This was Engel versus Vitale, 1962. The Supreme Court declared that public prayer in public schools violated the Establishment Clause. So here are some thoughts. It would violate the Constitution. That document clearly calls for the separation of church and state. Those who wrote it knew history. They knew how horrible and oppressive life could be when the two were not separated. All attempts to circumvent this provision have been struck down by the courts and will continue to be. Number two, it would not be fair or just. Most of these advocating prayer in schools are advocating Christian prayer. If Christian prayer were to be allowed, then prayers of the other religions, Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, Hindu, etc., would have to be allowed as well. There are citizens and they pay taxes that build, operate, and maintain schools. Therefore, they have equal rights. It would be a terrible burden on the schools. Teaching and monitoring religion is not the purpose of public schools, and they are not trained or equipped to do it. The places for prayer and religious instruction are the home, the church, the synagogue, the mosque, etc. It is the parents' responsibility to educate their children in religious matters, not the schools. Same thing we believe when it comes to LGBTQ and sexualization and drug use and everything else. I mean, all I'm doing is changing the verbiage to religion. The advocates of prayer in school may have less than Christian reasons for their advocacy, reasons like getting elected or reelected to public office by sincere and insincere but informed voters. Prayer still exists in the schools, but it exists quietly and privately in the hearts and minds of the students and staff. You're allowed to say prayer before a meal. No one's stopping you. What I am saying is that forced prayer, where everyone has to bow their head during a meal, is unfortunately, in my opinion, constitutionally unsound. And if we're going to go back into the annals of history and look at what some of the religious properties that were brought into school that were removed, I do believe, unfortunately, has some very negative ramifications that have been replaced with things that are not appropriate for children. And I have spoken out against it fervently. But going back to it and forcing people to pray or forcing one universal religion when we are a country that has no universal language. English is not the language of the United States. There is no official language for the United States. I don't know if people know that. There's also no official religion of the United States. There's no official nationality of the United States. We are the only country that doesn't have a nationality based upon race. We're simply American. It's an interesting point. What are your thoughts?
Well, Yeah, forced prayer is not a good thing. Now,
yes, Corey, we sell this shirt on don'tunfriendme.com. Go take a look. Go ahead. Sorry.
I know that, I mean, in my school, some kids were really religious and they would pray quietly before they ate lunch. There was even, at lunch, there was a prayer circle outside and kids would go and do that. And that's great. If you want to do that, that's great. At lunch, you know, if it's not forced by the schools and the kids want to do it and it doesn't affect education and they're not getting funded, more power to the kids that want to do it. But the problem is if these schools allow specific times to pray, and it's not just on your lunch break or it's an after school club where it's an extracurricular activity or something, they can't just allow prayer for Christian religions. You're going to have to allow it for Muslims and Islam and all these others. And what are they going to let them? I mean, the Muslims pray how many times a day, and they have to get down on their knees and do
multiple times.
Are they going to allow that? That's going to disrupt classes. That's, you know, so I think, because it used to be you can't, and you can get in trouble for praying. So if they want to open it up to, if at lunch you want to say a prayer, if you want to have a prayer meeting outside, whatever.
Right. You could do it at extracurricular activities. You could have an elective course based on religion if you want.
Great. I don't even think a class should be taught, but I don't think you should be ridiculed or get in trouble or get detention because you chose to say a prayer before you ate lunch, or you and your friends decide to go have a prayer chain on your lunch break where it's not disrupting anyone and they're not forcing people to join them and they're not ridiculing people for not joining them and yada, yada, yada. I think that's fine, but I don't think that the schools should make time during the education process and during classes to do it. There's too many different religions, too many different ways to pray, too many different, all that, you know, let them do it on their own time.
Yeah. If it's a parochial school, it's different. But this is the conundrum, is that you're forcing people to stay in public schools who can't afford private schools, Catholic schools, parochial schools. And without school choice, this is the Democrats' way to take religion from the home. I mean, it really is. If they would allow vouchers, or they would allow $15,000 of that tax money to go to the parents, we could afford schools that would be religious based. But right now, we really don't have a choice. We have to pay those taxes. We have to pay into the system, even if we homeschool our children and not receive any credit for it. I think it's very difficult for people to understand that there are ramifications for not having prayer in school. It's not all positive. People need guidance. They need leadership. They need to have another voice besides Madonna and NWA and even Jason Aldean in their ear. They need something more than Hannah Montana and Mr. Beast and that shit. I mean, religion does not create the destitute, so to speak. It's people who forego the difference between right and wrong that ultimately do that. And that can be taught in any form. It doesn't have to just be religion. Just teaching kids the difference between right and wrong and listening to your conscience. Those things are inherent in just human traits. It would be nice to see those type of classes come back. I know we had that, and it didn't really have to be a sociology focus, but you know, we saw that in home ec. It talked about the dichotomy of family and how to take care of basic needs that human beings have. And the Maslow hierarchy of needs was brought into home ec and talked about love and nurturing and food and water and heat and warmth and all those things to reach a level of enlightenment. And whether that enlightenment is you on top of a mountain seeing a sunrise, or you going into a pew and you know, humbling yourself and being a penitent person, it honestly, it doesn't matter. As long as you find that enlightenment, and that's really what this is about. And I think schools do a horrible job of empowering people to be free thinkers and to, you know, find their own course.
And, you know, and public schools are, you know, allowing, like Hayden's school, they have during the school year, and I think it's once a week, and Hayden actually went to it a couple of times, there's like a youth group that they actually meet before school starts. And the school, because they have all their extracurricular activities in the morning, and the school allows them to go and meet in a classroom, and they do their Bible study together or pray or whatever, and they can do that. And I think that's great. And, the kids formed it themselves, because at her school, the kids get to make their own clubs.
Right.
And as long as they have permission from the school and a teacher will chaperone it, then they can have their own club. And I think it's great that the school allows
I agree.
them
And
to
I
do
think
it.
it's fine if you want to dabble in Judaism or Hinduism or whatever you want to do.
As long as you're not forcing other students to go, and it's not, in order to graduate, you have to go to this class and you have to pray before this, or the students that are in this club are not criticizing and other kids for not going.
Yeah.
As long as it's your own, your own thing, that's great. That's awesome.
Elaine makes an interesting point. She says this country was founded on Christian beliefs, not a demonization, not other religions. Well, that's unfair. So, when everybody came from England, there was another religion here, and it essentially was wiped out. Now, that religion was more of a tribalistic view of things and more of, multiple gods. But to say that it was just Christianity, well, no, we had the Mayans and the Aztecs that sacrificed hundreds of thousands of people over 72-hour periods of time. I mean, there was a lot here before. But if you want to talk about the United States, yes, it was founded on Christianity, but then become a melting pot society. I'm not going to go tell a Jew that they can't learn about Judaist beliefs, and I'm certainly going to tell them they have to listen to Christianity or Mormonism and be forced to listen to it. No, it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. That's like saying we were founded on we were white, so therefore we need to be white. That's a little much, don't you think? I mean, I just disagree with that sentiment that because we were founded on Christianity, that needs to be something that's forced upon everybody. I completely disagree with that. I just don't. Yes, Olivia has quite a few tattoos. She'll show you her tattoos when the sun's not shining. Anyway, I'm not going to disagree that Christianity is I did not say demonization. Oh, excuse me, Elaine. Elaine, you're awfully fired up. It's this big, Elaine, okay? It's the only thing in my life that's this big, and I'm trying hard to see it without my glasses. Here, I'll put them on just for you. Excuse me that I got a word wrong. Holy Christ. Yes, I blasphemed because you're annoying me. Elaine, this country was founded on Christian beliefs, not a demonization. You didn't say demonization? What do you mean? This country was founded on Christian beliefs, not a demonization, not other. Do you mean denomination? Is that the word you're looking for? Because then when you yelled at me, you did it again. You said, I did not say demonization. Please read it right.
You read it right.
Do you mean denomination? Am I one of your psychic friends? Am I your Susie or Time Life operator? I read it right. You can yell at me if you want. I'll take my football and go home. I mean, pretty sensitive right now. My vagina has some sand in it. Anyway, last topic for tonight. It's something to think about. I think we should think about it. I think we should ask ourselves a question. Do we want to be the left? Do we want to believe, whether it's religion or not, that indoctrination is a form of forcing people to not necessarily believe, but study something that they may not agree with? Well, Elaine, spell check destroyed you. That's fine, but you tried to destroy me. So I don't know what you're so upset about tonight. I'm not saying anything that isn't true. I mean, you can call in and, tell me how I'm demonizing people. Denomination is the word. All right. So listen, last one. I don't want to make things tense. I've been in a really good mood tonight. I don't want to change that. So let's all relax and everyone realize that people say things and they mean to. Brenda Schultz says, wasn't it the freedom of religion? I thought that even though it was Christianity by our founders, wasn't one of the reasons to flee here was to escape religious persecution? Well, it certainly was. And I don't think not bringing school prayer back into schools as a forced event is persecution in any way, shape, or form. I believe that what persecution is what is happening now today when it comes to Christian values and, you know, the patriarch and matriarch and family values, is that there is a persecution against people who still believe in the nuclear family and still believe that a man should be with a woman and have children and raise them the best they can. That there is a persecutorial type of hatred and despot belief that somehow those people are responsible for the worst things in society, whether it be slavery, which was Democrats, or internment camps, Democrats, or Jim Crow laws, which Democrats, or civil rights, Democrats, modern day slave plantations, Democrats, Tuskegee experiment, no, Democrats. But we can go on and on and on that it's ultimately Christians' issue. But truly, Christians, there's a very big difference between Catholicism, Christianity, and Christians and Catholics. And I think Catholics and Christians inherently are sinners and can be flawed, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's Christianity and Catholicism's fault. And I think if you look at the values of Christianity, especially the New Testament, there's nothing in there that people are labeling it to be. It's not the cause of wars. It doesn't go out there and say create holy war. It's not the Quran, for God's sake. And I think people are making mistakes when they say, "Oh, well, Christians are a bunch of pedophiles. Look at all the priests and the Catholics who've done this." And I think that's fair, and I think it's horrible. And I don't condone those things, but I certainly don't blame Catholicism for that. I certainly blame the things that man have introduced in Catholicism, like gayish robes and getting on your knee and eating a wafer in front of a man and getting tipsy on Jesus juice. I think that stuff's a little weird. And I've always said that. And I've always believed that. I think religion is between God and his man. I don't think you need a temple to do that. You are the temple. Your soul is the temple. Your soul is the communique to God. And I don't believe a church has to facilitate that conversation. Now, do churches also have a lot of benefit in society? Of course they do. They help each other's neighbors. They look out for each other. There's a place for communal conversation and learning the teachings of God. Yeah, all that's great. But there's also some bad too. Let's be honest. And I think we have to be careful. We do. Elaine, you don't need to leave. You're loved. I just didn't understand why you were mad at me. So I just think we have to be careful when we want to take the inequities and the sin of man and place it on religion and blame holy wars and persecution and things that are done in the name of God, when there's nothing in the Bible that says to do those things. I mean, there's nothing that says go out and do this. In fact, it condemns those things. Judging is God's responsibility. That's his AOR, not yours, not mine. And for anyone that does something in the name of the Lord, it is working under false pretense. That's my feeling. Hopefully I brought that back. Did I bring that back, Liv?
I missed half of it. I'm sorry. I have to take a bathroom break. Sorry.
Whatever. All right, last one. Donny Osmond said it best: one bad apple does not spoil the whole bunch. Yeah, that's true. Or you can be like Kirk Cameron. You have to circumnavigate around people's intelligence to get them to believe in God.
Oh, goodness.
That guy. That.
Come on, man.
You have to circumnavigate people's intelligence in order to get them to believe in God? Wow. No, you don't. You embrace people's intelligence. And you play to their values. You play to their heartstring of being intelligent, that they don't need to believe everything, or they don't need to not believe. They simply need to have an open mind and an open heart and a mustard seed of faith, right? It doesn't talk about having something the size of the sun or Noah's Ark. It's a mustard seed of faith. And if you can somehow manage that, then ultimately you're on the right path. But these people that you have to get around their intelligence. No, Kirk Cameron, You don't, and you're not going to. Anybody that tries to manipulate me is going to get raffle-pwned when it comes to religion.
Some people don't like to answer questions. And a lot of people have questions and question religion and question the Bible and question God. And they say they might be religious, but if you can't answer somebody's questions or sit down and have a conversation with them, how are you supposed to relate to them and get them to follow your religion? I mean, that's the whole point.
Right.
It's not to trick people into believing. It's so they actually believe for themselves.
So Patricia says, I disagree. The Establishment Clause is intended to protect religion from the government. Yes, I agree with what you're just saying, but that goes against the freedom of religion, is that you're allowed to worship and have, but that's an individual right. And where you're, in my opinion, your argument falls short is you're stating that that would then be a collective right. And the Constitution and the Bill of Rights aren't designed for collectivism. They're individual liberties. So by saying that you have the right to worship whoever you want or don't is going against that right in the First Amendment, that the government cannot establish a religion, a national religion, just like you can't establish a national religion or a national race, because that's collectivism. It's not individualism. And it's a totalitarian notion. Many countries have tried to establish one religion. You look at North Korea, you look at China, you look at Russia, that believe in some sort of usurped power from lineage or from God above, from the days of Charlemagne. I don't agree with that. So I agree with your sentiment that the Constitution, the Bill of Rights are to protect us from the government. I agree with you. But then mandating prayer in school would be antithetical to your thought process, because then you're making a mandatory collective that everyone must. So therefore, that is an order from the government. I disagree. And so that's where you and I, because I am a purist at heart, always comes down to the individual rights over the collective. So that's my thought process. And the First Amendment is for you. It's not for all of us. That's not the way it works. Individual rights. That's why we're a republic and not a democracy. That's why we're not mob rule, 51% rules, and the minority voice is heard, and that's a republic. So if that one person in school is Jewish and they say, and everyone else is Christian, and they say, I'm not comfortable, that one person has their rights considered above the majority. That's the beauty of being a republic. I don't know if you agree with that. But either way, I call into the show and we can disagree amicably. Ooh, Tracy says believing is not religion, is a relationship. Ooh, I like that. That's good. The Left Behind series was good read. I think there are 18 books. Thank you, Debbie. Matt, I was answering someone that said it was the other way around. Okay, Patricia, that's why I don't know. It's hard reading these guys. Constitutional Republic, that is correct. Matt and Olivia, do you as a family say prayers? Oh boy, hold on, we got a question. Say prayers. I pray when driving. No, you don't pray. You don't pray. You pray as in, oh.
I know what she meant.
I know, I was teasing. I got yelled at for reading something wrong. I don't want, she might prey on people. When driving the distance to the border, because it's very scary, but my Bible is underneath the driver's seat. Do we pray as a family?
No.
No. Do I say prayers? All the frickin' time. All the time. And when I was going through the things that with CPS, I pray on my family. Not just Olivia and my kids, but my sister and my brother-in-law, who I believe are horribly lost and have complete evil in their hearts. And I also curse at them and yell at them and scream at them in my soul, and then occasionally on voice messages, because I'm so inexplicably angry. And hateful, not going to lie. So I ask for guidance on not to be so hateful. It doesn't always work. I pray all the time and ask just for solace and, being able to sleep at night without waking up in cold sweats and thinking I'm somewhere else. Those things. But no, I don't force my family to pray. Although I've encouraged my kids to do it once in a while. But my children don't believe in God. And I'm not going to make them. And I'm not going to fight with them. Because they don't. And it's not anything out of vindictiveness. They very much are on the path that I was as a child, is that they will find God in due time. And I'm not going to force them. And I'll answer any questions. What about you, Liv? What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
If they have any questions, I'll answer it for them. If they want to go to church, I have no problem. Hayden has gone to church a few times with friends. I have no problem. I will not go to church again. So, but it's up to them if they want to learn about it. I've got no problem. Hayden has my old Precious Moments Bible from when I was a kid. I did give that to her. So she does have a Bible. But I'm not going to force it on him like it was forced on me as a child.
What's the episode, honey?
Which one?
Mine, the big one. With religion.
With religion or about you?
You know about me.
I think it's 136, maybe.
Colleen, if you have not...
236 or 136?
I think it's 236.
It might be 236.
Colleen, if you have not seen, a lot of people have, and this is why people will never leave the show, is there's an episode that I did, I think it's episode 236, and it's about my experience with God.
If anyone knows what it is, please write it down. Let us know, because I can't remember which one it is.
And when I was sexually molested by a man of the cloth, and I go through the whole thing. When you say I was brought up with God, yes, and I was brought up with the worst parts of God that were heralded by man. And I also saw some things in the military. I also saw some things from other family members that put me in a very bad space with the Lord.
Love you.
I love you too. Good night, son. See you in the morning. Hey, 9:30. Okay.
Maybe earlier.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, set your alarm. I know. Love you. So it just put me in a bad spot. And I, with help from people on this show, and with my own qualms with this mortal coil, I have found at least some sort of peace when it comes to God. Do I ask for forgiveness? No. Because I don't regret anything I've done.
Jared's still waiting for us to do a whole show on this topic. We've actually done a couple.
Who is?
Jared Redman.
Jared, I've delved into this a lot.
We've actually done a couple of live shows on religion. A couple of them.
Do I ask for forgiveness? No, not in the way that you would expect. I don't sit there and say, God, please forgive me for my sins, or do the Lord's Prayer. I have remorse. I have guilt. I ask for guidance, but I'm not disingenuous. There are things that I've done that are most assuredly against God's law, and I'm not sorry for them. I'm sorry, I'm not. And that is a conversation that's between me and my maker and my wife and I, and that conversation hasn't taken place, so I certainly won't tell anyone here. She doesn't know half of the things that I've seen or done. But there are things that I've done that are against God's law, and I'm not sorry for them. So I will not ask for forgiveness. I hope that he forgives me. I hope that he sees my heart's true, but I'm not going to be disingenuous. And there's a lot of people that go, oh, well, I just sin, and then I go to the sin box, and then I come back, and it's like hockey. It's a penalty. Back on the ice. No. No. I believe that is absolutely antithetical to what religion's supposed to be. Have I learned a lesson? Yes. Will I try not to do it again? Yes. Will I? Possibly, yes. But does that mean that I need to pretend that I'm sorry for something? No. But there are things that I have done that I do feel bad for. And have I asked for forgiveness? No, but I've come to terms with them through God and sometimes without. That's about as honest as I can be. Elaine, I'm sorry about your experience with these people who are not of God. You know what, Elaine? I think this is a sensitive topic, and I think we've had enough tonight. So let's
she
see
also said, "I'm sorry what you've
gone
through."
No. Yeah. But let's just not. Let's not.
That's a deep subject for a different.
Yeah. Let's
day.
not forget that a man of the cloth is preaching God as he's penetrating me anally. That's going to leave a mark. Okay. And it's not necessarily going to make me differentiate between God, the good book, and the sin of men. It's just not. And it's never been. People are like, are you healed? Are you okay? Sure, I'm okay. I don't wake up in cold sweats over that. And in fact, it made me who I am today. And although it was terrible and painful and just destroyed me internally for a long time, I hold no ill will towards God because of that. But it doesn't necessarily make me want to run into his bosom up until the last few years that people have walked me through the process. So this is something I want you to look up that episode. Did we find it?
No, I wasn't even looking for it. I think it's 236. I just remember we had this conversation like a year and a half ago and somebody was looking for it. That's what I thought it was.
I'll tell you, it is my most popular episode I've ever done. And I've never played it again. I've never played it again. I've never played it on replay. No. I don't know how to find it.
I don't either.
Well, is it up in P-Cloud?
Probably. I don't know what the name of it was, though.
Did you put the episode numbers on there?
I may have, and then I don't know if I ever finished it.
Does anyone know?
I don't know. I said.
Oh, here's two.
It was like, I thought it was 236 or 237.
No, there's 236. Oh, I got it.
What is it?
Holy shit. Anybody want to watch it?
What number is it?
I got it. It's 237. Who wants to watch it? It's right here. It's in my catalog.
How long is it? I don't remember.
Well, Olivia, does that matter?
No, I'm just curious how long it is.
It's 12 inches. You should know. All right.
The show, dear.
We don't have to do it all. We'll just.
Show.
I think we'll just do the beginning. It's a pretty powerful show. This show kind of put it on the map. This show is seen by
the old set.
Yeah, this show is seen by 200,000 people. This was my most popular show I've ever done that wasn't boosted. I put it out there and I did it for me, and then I'll show it. Here it is. And I think the whole point, the story, that the rest of it's not important, but I'll just here it is. Good evening, dummies. Tuesday, October 12th, 8:49 p.m. My name is Matthew Spear. I am your host of Don't Unfriend Me. And yes, I call everyone dummies. I'll explain why. Please don't take offense. But we're doing episode 237 tonight on a very difficult topic. We are going to talk about children and schools and what happens with victimization and brutalization of children. It is a rampant and terrible thing that has been going on for generations, and it's time we've talked about it. And if I can share a story with you, it's not for attention, it's not for empathy or sympathy. It's simply a matter that if I can encourage one person to face things or talk about things or help another person, or maybe there's a child in your family. I've lost a little weight.
Your hair was really, really short.
But I was looking kind of fluffy. But this was COVID, right? And I stopped lifting. But and I've also been working out a ton lately. But I look a little fluffy right there.
Yeah, it was like 2021, I think. It was a couple years ago. But your hair was really short.
Yeah. Patricia, I'm going to play it for you. It's only 20 minutes. Just here you go. Who needs that? Or parents are looking for some sort of help on what not to do and maybe what to do. This is the show for you. I will say viewer discretion is advised. It's certainly not going to be foul-mouthed, but it will be content that is adult in nature, but might be important for children to hear. You decide, and you can go ahead. Juzzy says, then Matt was still handsome. Yeah, well.
You're handsome all the time.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, yeah? You don't think I'm handsome? Watch this. I put it in an AI, and this is what I will look like with Brad Pitt's hair.
Oh, that's Brad Pitt's hair?
That's what I would look like if I had straight hair So thank you very much. I'm a pretty good looking guy. That's fantastic. So that's with AI. My ears, my face.
What can you make me look like?
I didn't make me look like anybody. I just put it in, and this is what I put it in, and it said if I had this hair and I brought my goatee. I mean, you've seen my face when I have just my goatee and scruff. That's what it looks like. I mean, it's insane how it's got my.
I would very.
Kristen
curious.
says, "Oh my." Listen, folks. Olivia will tell you I clean up. I clean up, man. You haven't seen me dressed up or in the real world. You see me sitting behind a chair. You see my chest up, and I'm a pretty built guy, but I've got a good frame, good body. I come on, that's my hair. That's what I look like.
You look cute with your pink shirt.
Yeah, I'd rock that pink shirt. See,
you have a pink shirt.
I do it. Listen, I clean up, man. Shit. Come on, folks.
He actually wore his pink polo for one of our family portraits because we had to match my dress.
I remember that. Where's the hold on a second. This is important. What was Houston? What Christmas? What year was it real quick? And I want to do that. Christmas. Houston. Christmas in Houston.
We had
at Comcast when I went to the Comcast party.
2018?
Was it that far?
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
Well, there's 2017 and 2018, but I think it was if the one I remember, I think it was 2018. Yes, Kevin, I married a hunk.
I'm just saying. See, this is
Thanks, Judy.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find this thing. And then we'll show the show. Sorry, I can show this. They gotta see what I look like in a suit and cleaned up. I haven't what year was that? Oh, here it is. Maybe? No, it's not.
Well, you could show when you first moved here and you went to that thing in DC.
But I don't have that picture. I don't know where it's at. Hold on. It's right around here somewhere. Are you sure it was 18? Oh yeah, it is. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Here's my my Michael Bublé pic with all my managers. Here you go. And my hair was a lot longer. There it is. There it is. See, there's my Michael Bublé and my tux. See,
what's up with the chicks moving?
Well, it's the camera that when you export it from iTunes. But those are all my retail managers, and we were at a New Year's Eve party. But that's my Michael Bublé pic. See, there it is. All right, here we go. Let's watch this. Sorry, didn't mean to get off on a tangent. Damn it, people! Oh crap!
Did you lose the episode?
I don't know. Hold on. There it is. All right. You look better now. Whatever.
You always look good.
Thanks, guys. All right, here we go. Of course. Folks, anybody who's been here for more than a person, or maybe there's a child in your family who needs that, or parents are looking for some sort of help on what not to do and maybe what to do, this is the show for you. I will say viewer discretion is advised. It's certainly not going to be foul-mouthed, but it will be content that is adult in nature, but might be important for children to hear. You decide. Hey, man, I look young now, okay? I do not look 50. And whatever. All right. And you can go ahead and pick whether you do or not. I'll be right back. Oh, Debbie says I look like Tom Hardy. Do I sound like him? Do I sound like Tom Hardy?
That's okay.
It's Tom Hardy who talks like this in movies and makes it very auspicious.
Is that Bane?
No, Bane. Yeah, Batman. Oh.
No, he played Bane, right?
Motherfucker. Motherfucker, Batman. Yeah, that's him. Of course. Folks, anybody who's been here for more than 2 minutes knows that that's not the correct one. But at least we got it out of the way early tonight. Now, I'll be right back. Oh, the old intro.
Yeah,
thanks, Victoria. Okay, folks, I'm just kidding.
Recorded from an undisclosed
you sounded great. I love this. I need to have you re-record this.
Always direct. So sit back, relax. Don't Unfriend Me starts right now.
Dorita thinks you're hotter and sexier.
She's right. She's right. Folks, welcome. If you have this video is sensitive content. This talks about sexual assault when I was younger. This is a big episode. This is what kind of made Don't Unfriend Me kind of take off. And I haven't played this in forever. This is 300 some odd episodes ago. Anyway, enjoy. Welcome. Thank you. Episode 237. Remember, you can like, share, and subscribe. You can hit all those hearts as many times as you want, all the people who are on live. We've got a whole bunch on. That helps the algorithm. Share it with your friends and family. Please do. I would appreciate it. Remember, I said dummies earlier. What the heck are dummies? Well, it's the Don't Unfriend Me's. It's an acronym. It's not an insult. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means you're a Don't Unfriend Me. Barstool Sports has Stooley. Holy crap, that was difficult, right? It was so hard to like get that print. TV was a pain in the ass, and then the sound effect. And my God, I didn't start the show fast enough. And I realized what people are talking about. It's great going back and seeing this. Have dummies, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Whether you've watched one episode or tonight 237, you are officially a dummy. Please remember, if you would be so kind, to go to all my social media sites, Facebook, YouTube. I'm now on, what is it, Gab? I'm on Gab. At Don't Unfriend Me Show. Go over to Gab, minutes. Get that up, help me. Gab Social. Didn't they cancel it?
Pause it real quick.
Yeah, go.
Richard Davis, a man after your own heart. If I were a chick, I'd F him. That's so you say that.
I say that all the time. I used to F guys like you in prison.
No.
No, I know. I got it. Also, my wife told me to pick out one channel, tonight's channel, if you could go over to. Yeah, I don't have to explain dummies anymore. We have enough people. This is good. You guys, there will be a point where we stop talking. YouTube, if you have a YouTube account, and subscribe, that would mean a great deal. You can find me at Don't Unfriend Me Show. Let's get to it. The intro has gotten a little bit better. So like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And let's get to the show. Bear with me, folks. I have not had a chance to go over this. Can you hear us? How about now? A warning before we get started, viewer discretion is advised. Although no harsh language is within this, there are sensitive topics that might be disturbing to some. Fair warning to all. It was only a matter of time that I shared all of these stories with you since the beginning of this show, but never my most personal or secret in the recess of where bad things go. I faced and fought these demons over the years, but I never have spoken about it until now. I don't know why. Maybe because my mind locked it away for so long that I didn't even recall the events until I was almost 18 years old. I was stoking a fire in Colorado, and all of a sudden it hit me. I literally felt like I was hit by weight that resembled a small car on top of me. I couldn't breathe. The images, the feeling, the pain, I didn't understand if it was real or imagined. I just knew that I was no longer going to be able to keep it inside any longer. My mother was little help, as she always was unhappy with me, and when I first retold my horrific tale, her response was typical, if not predictable. I won't go into the details of the first time it happened. All I'll say, it was a close family member who I no longer speak with till this day. Although I forgave what had happened, that person despises me, himself, or me, or both, till this very day. And that is something I lament, but I won't be the one seeking reconciliation or atonement for their actions. That is their cross to bear and not mine. This isn't about attention or empathy. I have enough of both from those, the people that I truly love. But it's important to understand why I am so protective of those that are close to me and why I have been so adamant about protecting children. Yours and folks, I had a Rodecaster Pro then. The difference is that the recording is compressed. You notice the picture is broken down to 480p. So is the audio. It breaks it down to, 72 kilobytes a second. So it's going to sound different. But anyway, that's that. Plus, I've worked on my voice. I've gotten more comfortable. This is what I sound like normally. And I also have perfected my presence in my voice. And most radio personalities or podcasters will tell you they find a certain cadence to their vocal range and they use it all the time. And they can go deep like this, or they can, bring it up and be a little brighter. So it's called skill set. Here it is. Specifically, I had failed the 5th grade. Mr. Short was a teacher who was close to retirement and was checked out mentally from the Hunipra Sarah Elementary School system. But even that wasn't really the case. I had little hope of passing anyway. I was detached and on another planet most of the time. I received all Fs my last semester of 5th grade, and before I went on summer break, my parents received the bad news about me having to repeat the 5th grade. Spankings and punishments ensued, and the school provided a psychiatrist to evaluate if I had learning disabilities. During those trials and tribulations, I received 2 weeks of private observation and tutoring from a school board therapist. She put me through the various lessons and tested my level of knowledge in all curricula. After the 2 weeks of tutoring, she tested me on all facets of development for a boy my age. She reported back to the school board and my parents shortly after. She advanced me into the 6th grade and said not only was I advanced for my age group, but she couldn't see any reason why I wouldn't be able to advance to the 7th grade. She provided my IQ results, cognitive capabilities, and problem-solving aptitude, and all were navigated with flying colors. However, she explained that I was emotionally a mess and needed some guidance from a professional to keep my hyperactivity and frustrations to a minimum. Of course, my mother's answer was SSRI medication like Ritalin and lithium, and her second predilection was to introduce me to the world of God, something my father didn't take much stock in. And this spiraled into mind-numbing and altering psychotropic drugs, as I was a guinea pig, like most children my age, to the dangers of medication at that age. It was the worst experience that I went through at that time. When the medication didn't work, it was time for another dose of permanent solutions to temporary problems. My mother was put into contact with a gentleman who lived 30 houses or so up from our street. His name was Mr. Parrish, and I have never or will never look him up. I would be afraid of what I would do with that information. He was a well-respected man of the cloth and worked at a Sunday school as a priest. He was Catholic, about 45 to 50 years old, and lived in a modest house with a modest wife. I didn't see him as a threat. I had no earthly idea. Now, this is a bone of contention for a lot of people, and it's been kicked around, especially in the comments section on Facebook where you can find this video, how is he a Catholic priest with a wife? Now, you have to remember, I was a very young boy, and the denomination and where we went on the hill in Ventura had multiple denominations of churches, and there was a very large community center, and it was extensive. Tens of thousands of people visited this. It was like a super church. I know because I remember he, as a parishioner, and seeing him in the cloth, he wore what looked to be a Catholic priest's garb. But whether this woman was his wife or somebody who lived at the premises or simply helped him with his school, I don't know, and I don't have the answer to that question. But some people are like, this is, I think, like 7 people out of 20,000 were like, this is a bullshit story. It's made up, because people always want to try to find that one thing that when they're feeling icky somehow makes them feel better that something may or may not be true. But once again, it's a small, minute detail, and for a young boy who went through the trauma that I went through, I can't speak to what denomination he was. It was my understanding that he was Catholic, and that's what I recall. To what would come in the future, or what impact it would have on me for the rest of my life. And nothing really prepares a person for things like this, and I didn't understand any of it until long after it had occurred. I was sent to his Sunday camp with he and his wife one weekend to get to know him so he could evaluate me. He worked with kids with struggles adapting to school and normalcy with their behavior. The day was like many others in my life. He was kind, he was likable, and I reported this to my parents in the affirmative when asked if I wanted to continue seeing him. I remember vividly riding my bike up the street, legs pumping and heart racing, as I headed to our first appointment and tutoring session. No parents, no guardian, just myself in a stranger's house, with not so much as a thought to what could happen or would ultimately happen. And to be fair, it was a different time back then. But my mom always talked about strangers and the threat of kidnappers. It eludes me till this day why there wasn't some form of security, or at least vetting, that should have taken place beforehand. When I knocked on the door, I could see through the pattern-cut crystal, a silhouette come closer, and I heard the anticipated click of the door being open. There was Mr. Parrish with a smile intact and an outstretched hand. We were to work on math and history for our first lesson, and as I walked by the kitchen, his wife was doing dishes, and she didn't greet me with even a word. Her back was to me. She saw me, but didn't acknowledge me at all, even when I spoke out and said, "Good morning, Miss Parrish." Nothing. As he placed his hand on my neck and led me upstairs, I immediately knew something was out of place. The touch was foreign, and completely malignant to my nervous system. Something was terribly wrong. I entered a room with one table and 2 foldable chairs. One was fairly new, and the other looked to be used plenty of times, especially in an outdoor setting. It was rusty, and the copper color paint was flecking in spots. The room was unseasonably hot. I mean, hot. The windows were closed, and there were no drapes or blinds. The side of the house was facing the sun, and the light was illuminated to the point that you could see particles floating in the air. As I glanced around, he ushered me to the seat. And none of us had AC back then, but we all used ceiling fans or circular fans. Heck, if not, we at least opened the windows. I asked why it was so hot, and he said the AC was broken. Now, I had spent some time at my uncle's in Bakersfield and knew there were thermostats on the wall, usually 2 of them back then, one for the AC and one for the heat, or they would have dials on the left and right side. At least that was what my uncle had. I inquisitively looked for one while I glanced about, but I only saw one thermostat. The same ones we had in our house. The red line was indicating 85 degrees, and I knew how to read it, but never touched it because my parents would smack the heck out of us if we did. I found it odd why the heat was on when it was already 90 plus outside and it was a hot summer day. As he placed both hands on my shoulders, he led me to the dilapidated chair and set me in it firmly. He spent some time talking about what work we would be completing, and all I really remember was how damn hot it was. We did some problems. I remember my hands were sweaty and my arms were sticky to the vinyl folding table, and he asked me if I was uncomfortable, and before I could reply, my chair gave way as the back metal leg collapsed. He asked if I was okay, and I said I was, as he tried, or acted, to attempt to repair the bent leg. He let out an exasperated sigh that seemed rehearsed and said it was okay, I could sit on his lap the rest of the time. I didn't know what to think. I honestly didn't give it much thought. I didn't think to run or scream because nothing in my mind's eye told me this was a threat. The feeling I had was foreign to me entering the room, but nothing would confirm my worries, and it wasn't his fault the chair broke. But as I write this, I am really saying to myself internally, at that young boy in the recesses of my brain, to run, to get out. But hindsight is always that way, and I didn't understand what was happening. Can't believe I'm doing that. All right. As I sat on his lap, I remember his hand on me and holding me tightly. The work became moot, and the illusion of lessons were tossed aside. As I sat there in his grasp, I remember I was even hotter, and I felt like I was going to pass out. He said if I wanted to be cooler, I could take off my shirt, and that he would do as well if it made me more comfortable. As I compiled my thoughts together, I knew now that something bad was happening. I don't remember when he slammed me face first on the table, and I don't remember when my shorts were removed, but I do remember the pain and me calling out for my mom. She never came. Again, I am who I am today because of these things, although the emotions are palpable and difficult to manage. I want you to know that by me telling you this horrific event, that it may help others learn from it and have the courage to speak up, or to have the presence to always be on the alert. As of today, nearly 30% of children are sexually brutalized or victimized by an adult. These numbers are staggering. 1 out of 3 children are violated, filled with fear, and made to experience things they never should have to experience. It is our job as parents to always be vigilant and be that line of defense for our children. We have to trust but verify. We cannot add equations to the problem and increase the complexity of keeping our kids out of danger. It must be simple, precise, and easily identified for the adult and the child. And that is why the news once again that our Loudoun County school district brings tears to my eyes and the need for a bat in my hand. On June 22nd, Scott Smith was arrested at Loudoun County, Virginia School Board. He was there for a board meeting, a meeting that was ultimately deemed an unlawful assembly after many attendees vocally opposed a policy on transgender students. What people did not know is that weeks prior, on May 28th, Smith says a boy allegedly wearing a skirt entered a girl's bathroom at nearby Stonebridge High School, where he sexually assaulted Smith's 9th grade daughter. Juvenile records are sealed, but Smith's attorney, Elizabeth Lancaster, said that a boy was charged with 2 counts of forcible sodomy, 1 count of anal sodomy, and 1 count of forcible fellatio related to an incident that day at school. As a result of the viral video showing his arrest, Smith became the poster child for what the National School Board Association has since suggested could be a form of domestic terrorism. A white blue-collar male who showed up to harangue obscure public servants on his local school board. Minutes before Smith's arrest, the Loudoun County Public Schools LCPS superintendent lectured the public that concerns about the transgender policy were misplaced because the school system had no record of any assault occurring in any school bathroom. Then a woman wearing a rainbow shirt, a left-wing community activist, told Smith she did not believe his daughter. His rage reached a boil, and he had heated exchange of words with the women and a police officer there to keep the peace in the meeting. They pulled on his arm. Smith was yanked away, and before he knew it, Smith says he was hit in the face, handcuffed, and dragged across the floor. With his pants pulled down, images of the incident were splashed on televisions and newspapers across the world. But on October 6th, according to the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office, a 15-year-old was charged with sexual battery and abduction after police said he forced a girl into an empty classroom, held her against her will, and touched her inappropriately. At 4:48 p.m. on the day of the incident, the principal sent out an email to the community that claimed nothing jeopardizing student safety had occurred, painting Smith as the villain and offering counseling service for witnesses of Smith's blow-up. On June 22nd, the school board held a meeting where the focus discussion was a proposal expanding special protections to transgender students. From the dais, school board member Beth Bartz painted such concerns as paranoia and prejudice. Quote, "Our students do not need to be protected, and they are not in danger," she said. "Do we have assaults in our bathrooms or locker rooms regularly?" she asked. Superintendent Scott Ziegler replied, "To my knowledge, we don't have any record of assaults occurring in our restrooms." Board Chair Brenda Sheridan asked, "Have we had any issues involving transgender students in our bathrooms or locker rooms?" Ziegler denied the claims and said evidence shows that these arguments are red herrings. Nearly 250 members of the public had signed up to speak. Many of them were critical of the school system's racial and transgender initiatives. Others were supporters of the transgender policy who painted their neighbors as ignorant bigots, with one saying hate was dripping from the followers of Jesus in this room. Opponents booed on that remark, and the board threatening to stop the meeting if participants were loud again. Bartz retreated to a Facebook group shortly after that, officially known as the Anti-Racist Parents of Loudoun County, and later known to critics as Chardonnay Antifa, populated by other progressive government officials, teachers, and a small but highly engaged faction of activist-minded community members. She wrote, "I'm losing any hope that remaining civil towards these people changes anything," one member wrote. "Avoiding these people isn't enough to stop the spread of their evil rhetoric." Bartz told the group that ethics rules were making it difficult for her to identify and call out such parents by name, and asked for the help of the group. The group took the hint and took up the banner, and they responded enthusiastically to a call to hack parents who questioned school board policies and expose these people publicly. They set out making lists of parents who posed a risk to the school policy agenda, replete with their spouses' names, areas of residence, and their employers. I suggest if you want to learn more about this, please head to the Daily Wire and read the article by Luke Rosiak. It's fantastic, and I've taken some excerpts from it. It is not only sickening, but lays out the case step by step and the horrible abortion of justice that was perpetrated against these parents and a young child. I had to stop reading at quite a few points because I physically couldn't stomach what I was taking in. This is the woke left. Her truth, the Me Too movement, believe all women, is a complete and utter sham. This is a very real truth about all of this, that conservative voices not only don't matter, but our safety, security, and rights as parents are also being attacked. I think of my little boy, my girl. I have done everything I can to protect my children. I vet everyone. I mean everyone. Background checks, contacts in alphabet agencies, criminal history. I trust nobody. And I am always watching. My children are always protected. We talk constantly about any situation that could put them in danger. They know what to do. They know to be patient, to wait. And if they find themselves in this situation, to not struggle until just the opportune moment and then cripple the person harming them. Then Dad will take over. I am as stable as they come. I have no ill will or malice in my heart towards anyone. But if someone harmed my family or those in my circle, I would bring the worst versions of myself down on their heads. There would be no quarter, no restraint, just pure, unadulterated hate. And you expect this father to remain quiet, to go unheard with a half-assed internal investigation that was kept in-house to protect the narrative? This is simple. Men do not belong in women's bathrooms, and women don't belong in men's bathrooms. This is insanity. I honestly don't care about the emotions of the gender confused anymore. I care about the safety and security of my family and yours. And this experiment in wokeism is a failed effort that has gone far enough. Parents must start getting involved. They are silencing us at school board meetings. They are silencing us online. They are dividing us from our kids one lesson at a time, and it needs to stop now. The day that I fail as a father and allow my children to experience what I had to live through will be the day that I die inside. I will not allow it to happen. But if someone else who I entrusted to have the same fervor and resolute commitment with my child fails in that endeavor, let them lament the day that they contributed to the worst experience imaginable for a young child. I have said it before, and I will say it one more time. When our government fails to uphold the laws of this land, they are in dereliction of their duties and responsibilities as public servants. We must demand more from educators and stop the money-hungry unions and NSBA. Our children are worth it. And if we don't, nobody else will. Tonight, I shared something that is now out in the ether, a secret that has been with me for most of my life, and I am not ashamed. Some will use it to attack me and ridicule, and some will use it to hopefully have the courage to face their own demons. But no matter what, I'm not less of a man because someone failed to be one at all. I have seen friends eat a bullet rather than deal with the pains of battle and the horrors of war. Pride goeth before the fall. We must speak in terms of conviction and passion and leave anger and threats to the wayside. We must make arguments that speak to the dire consequence and tragic scenarios if just one case goes astray from the desired outcome. Because 1 in 3 children are sexually assaulted or physically traumatized by an adult in their lifetime, and this stat isn't new. It has been the same for almost 3 generations. We can no longer afford to be silent. We can no longer afford to allow the same people to decide what's best for our children. We can no longer allow this to happen, because if we do, we will be as responsible as much as they are. Folks, thank you for watching tonight. I can't thank you enough. Tough episode to get through, but gosh darn it, we got through it. Anyway, please. I'm going to pop smoke, so I need a respite, and I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody watching it. It's harder now than it was. Damn, I can write.
We've all been telling you need to write a book.
I can write. There's a lot.
It would be a very good book. I mean, with all of your experiences and you've got a comedic side, it would be.
Yeah, I know. I just that. Yeah, wow. That I think I wrote that entire. That wound up being. I want to say it was close to 9,000 words. I think it took me like 47 minutes. I was so pissed. But yeah.
And for anyone just curious about what happened with that boy, what they did is they transferred him to another school without notifying the parents of the current school or the new school, notifying anyone. They kept it under the rug. And and they called the parents, any parents who spoke out about it, domestic terrorists, and he raped another girl in the new school.
They reported them all to the FBI.
And
secretly. They were all fired.
Yeah. Well, the Ziegler, and then who was the public voice?
Beth Bartz.
Something like, well, Beth Bartz, and then there was the other, the public officer. They're both in trials right now. They're felony charges.
Yeah, they're
right now.
talking about jail time.
They took it all down because they lied completely about everything.
It's bad.
It was really bad.
Everyone always says to us, like, what do you mean that they're doing CRT and they're doing these? Folks, this is the hotbed of all of those. Brandon Michon was on here. He was the irate dad. I mean, he was running for office. We went to these. We saw these things. This is our town.
This is our school district.
This is our school district. We were in the hotbed of this for 2 years. So when everyone goes, oh, well, they're not putting this in schools, this is bullshit. We're the school that they're doing it to. They won't even let me in the library at my school. I was there to listen to one of Hayden's plays. And we were waiting for them, and we were all invited. And I walked into the library, and the principal came in. He pulled me out and said, no, you can't go in there. I'm like, what do you mean I can't go in there? It's my taxpayer dollars. It's not a secure area. I'm here. I have a visitor's badge. Well, why can't I audit? And they won't let you. It's bad. But listen, I got to go. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I have a full catalog of all these videos. If anybody wants them, now they're not going to be in good quality. These are literally just for prosperity. They're downsized. I've got a 10 terabyte server online that has 500 some odd episodes. Most of these are on Facebook. You can find them. 236, you most assuredly can find it on 237. You just go to videos, and then you go to my playlist, season 1, 2, and 3, and just start watching the catalog. But I do have all of these downloadable for you. One day, maybe I'll index some or whatever. But either way, I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. Listen, the only reason why that stayed up, and the only reason I must have had 30,000 comments on that thing, and I would say 29,990 of them were people literally sharing their story too, writing pages of stuff and saying thank you. It was absolutely monumental. And I think it's episode 237. Can you hear me now? And the goosebumps is that pretty much every reply is, yes, I hear you. And then that person would share their story. And dude, that's like when this show spoke to me, and I said, fuck it. I'm every single topic is available, and I'm going to use it. And I've always said that I'll try to do as good as I can. That's it. That's what we do. All right. Episode 237. Thank you, Olivia. God love her. She's my everything. Appreciate all of you. Thanks for being here. Do me a favor. Go to thedumshow.com. Pick yourself up some cool stuff. You can go to Facebook.
The pot pie shirt that Amy just picked up. Amy just bought the pot pie shirt.
That's awesome. Yay. All right, everybody. God bless. Thanks for watching. We'll see you. Probably not going to do a recorded show. I've done 3 this week. I may do one tomorrow morning, but I'm probably just going to play some Diablo and relax. Get ready for my big interview. That's going very well, by the way. I do sit down with the CEOs, both CEOs, the CFO and the CMO, via web conference for a good hour. And then if that works out, I'll be flying out to corporate office for the position. So things are looking good. Appreciate all y'all. See you tomorrow. Thanks for everything.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important. You are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call